Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Coach Patrick Precourt here, welcoming you to another Monday Mindset Call. Great to have you guys here as always, and for my online viewers, great to have you guys here. So, it's been an exciting past week. A lot of stuff happening, and I've heard a lot from you guys, which is pretty cool. And I encourage you guys to share your stories, your wins, but also your challenges. We had this discussion not that long ago about somebody's calling failures and mistakes and poor decisions and all that kind of stuff. And the truth is, it's our poor decisions or our mistakes that you learn from the most. It's not the successes that we learn from the quickest. It's always our errors. And the way I tend to see it, the way I would think that might serve you as well, is that the decisions that we make that don't serve us 100% are all there to serve a purpose, a reason, to get us closer to the truth. And it's at the truth that things change. It's at the truth that we can make intelligent decisions. It's at the truth that all creation comes from. Think about it. You create something out of a false state. Where do you go with it from there? Right? Where does it go? So, with that said, we're going to have an interesting discussion today. I just had to shut down the online Facebook one because it just wasn't working for me. This is rooted in a conversation that I got baited in and dragged into this past weekend. And I can't really share the full context of the conversation. Not that it's even relative, but if I did, it would misdirect our conversation. But what I want to talk about today is beliefs on the truth, and then how it affects us and our outcomes, and quite honestly, the successes that we do have in life, including our level of fulfillment and happiness. It's easy to try to measure, especially in this little space we're in, our success is based on how many deals we do or how much money we make or don't make. But let me ask you this. At the end of the day, and if this was your only choice, happy and very little money or unhappy and loaded, which would you choose? There's one or the other. No in between. No in between. You can't say, well, if I was loaded, I'd be happy. No, because one does not guarantee the other. And the only reason I bring up that question is because, well, we choose happiness. And if your answer was, well, Pat, if that was my only choice, I would choose to be happy and without a ton of money. I said the question then becomes back at you, why don't we choose to be happy more often? So, and I get it. It's not that easy. I get it. But I'm gonna shed some light on a piece of this today, and this is going to be a two-part call, because today we're going to kind of open it up, at least open up our minds to this side of it, and then next week's call, what do you do about it? Okay, we got to go two pieces here. But either way, I want to welcome you guys to the call. Great to have you guys here. Honored to be with you every week. Hope you know that. Okay. Welcome, Daniel. Good to see you here. And I do like when you guys check in, share. So it's not just a monologue. So we actually carry a dialogue. Dialogues work better. They work better for you too because, well, you get more out of it. So here we go. So this conversation, maybe that's not the best way. No, you know what I'm doing? I'm going to share something with you first. I'm going to read something to you. Okay. Diane says, so glad I can be on the call again. Hi, Pat. Hello, Miss Diana. Hello, Miss Rhonda. You guys are awesome, man. So sit back. Just open your ears for a second. Don't be distracted during this little piece because this is going to segue into what I'm going to do for you today. Okay? So I want to start connecting the dots in your brain, in my brain, in our brains, right, between our beliefs and truth, in how you can have different truths based on beliefs. So let me just read this to you, then I'll go backwards, start putting this all together for you. Just to show you how, our beliefs are in fact an opinion. Remember, the context here, though, is to get to, well, why can't we create beliefs and a truth that just allow us to be happy now? Why do we have to wait till later to be happy? It's a good question, right? Give you a little inkling. You don't have to wait till later. But here we go. Sixto Rodriguez was born in the summer of 1942. This is just a 3-minute story. To working-class immigrants in Detroit, Michigan. For the past 40 years, he barely scraped by doing backbreaking labor and living in a dilapidated house. During that time, Rodriguez was also a rock star. Okay? He's a musician, a very talented one. More popular than the Beatles or the Rolling Stones. That's the fervent opinion of millions. In the late 60s, the once aspiring singer-songwriter cut a couple of albums. They are commercial flops in the United States of America. His dreams fell down, they dashed away. Rodriguez spent the rest of his life hustling for odd jobs in Detroit's inner city. Meanwhile, his first album somehow made it to South Africa in the early 1970s. An oppressive regime ripe for its poetic protest songs. And so it caught fire and became the soundtrack of the anti-apartheid movement. Rodriguez morphed into a mythological musical icon. So Mr. Rodriguez, a workday laborer from Detroit, or a one-of-a-kind folk rock hero? Which is it? Same person, same music, same events. Different people have a different truth on who Mr. Rodriguez is. What you believe depends on where you are and when. I share that little story with you just to open up your minds to understand that there is no single truth. Truths are an interpretation, a replay that we come up with based on our experiences and our life filters that we apply to it. Now, and you could almost in this discussion analogize beliefs and truth as one, right? What you believe in to be true versus what somebody else believes in to be true. And I just gave you a black and white example of that. We used to go back into probably like the 50s or somewhere around there. We thought if a kid was acting out and had what we call today ADHD, which now we just medicate the crap out of them, which is really not right. Back then we gave him a frontal lobotomy and turned him into a vegetable. But we believed at the time somehow driving like this ice pick through the eye socket and steering up the front of the brain made sense to do to a child. We believed that. That was the truth. That was like a medical procedure that today would be considered so barbaric. If some doctor did that to some child, they'd throw him in jail. But remember, truth is relative to where you are and when. Juanita says, I choose to be happy. We all make a choice every morning. Yeah. We do, but it's not that easy. We all know that, right? We choose to be happy, but then we think about things that make us unhappy, beliefs and truths about them. So, for the sake of this discussion, right, let's accept that beliefs and truths are different for different people. Truth is different for different people. The truth that we choose will directly reflect the model of the world that we live in. The truths that you choose and that I choose, and they are choice, will directly reflect the model of the world that we live in. Our model that we choose will reflect how happy or how sad we are, how angry or how content we may be, how satisfied or how unsatisfied, how fulfilled or how unfilled we are, based on the model of the world that we create. If you believe that, for instance, you can't be happy until you get the new car, then that is your truth. That is real. Your truth is your reality. That is as real to you as any of the other truth is to anyone else, without exception. You chose it, and it's your truth. You believe it. Therefore, it's real. If you believe you have to get married to be happy, or to graduate college in order to get happy, or to get that next great job to be happy, or to get that first deal to be happy, then those are all your realities. That's the model of your world that you're creating, and you will live in that model because you choose it. You own that. Now, this is why I'll leave out some of the context to this discussion I got baited into Saturday night. And I do not discuss certain topics unless I'm with the right people that are mature enough to discuss them. And I should have let this go, and I didn't. Shame on me. Right? But the discussion came up about how this particular person felt oppressed, held back, pushed down. And for those of you who know me, you know that's a very, very, very touchy subject, right? Because there's two truths to it, but there's only one that serves you. There are two truths, or maybe more truths, but I do know of two truths to that situation. Number one, you may be, in fact, held down, oppressed, whatever. I get it. I get it. And that is a truth. But my discussion was about, if you're going to bring this up and challenge me on all this stuff here, then you best listen to what I got to say. Because I got another truth for you that will serve you. And this is the point that I kind of want to bring up to us, a more mature group here. There are multiple truths in our world every day. And our truth will change on the same topic, the same discussion based on when and where we are. So the little trick, the magic, is to start seeking out truths that serve us, that better us. Not ones that we can feel, oh, woe is me, pity about, or feel victimized from, but ones that move us forward, that allow us to step up and live big. So the model we live in equals our mindset, is a function, a result of our mindset, because part of our mindset, of course, is our belief systems and our willingness to be open to the idea that our beliefs may not serve us. Our beliefs may be a protective mechanism that allow us to feel bad about ourselves so we can seek pity from others or put blame on others. I believe this. I believe that is the cause of this. Therefore, I blame it. Well, guess what? If you're blaming it, there ain't nothing you can do about it because you're blaming it. Only it can change you now. And that was on my discussion with this individual. So you're blaming, for lack of a better description, society, because I'd give it a more specific description, but it'll derail our call right now. You're blaming society for being oppressed. As long as you blame society for being oppressed, only society can unoppress you. Won't be crap you can do about it because you are giving all your authority, your power to society. If you blame society for holding you down, you can't move until society decides you can get up. If you chose a different truth, though, that I can get up on my own. I'm no longer oppressed or held down by society. I can stand here and now. That's your truth that you choose. And that is the other truth in this discussion. It's not society's fault. Somebody's fault. There does not have to be blame. There only has to be a path to where you want to get. But if we continue to blame or point the finger or put off the responsibility on someone else, we give up all ability to do something about it. Now, I know these discussions are not always easy to accept. I had one with another a young lady who's make no mistake, in a crappy marriage. Husband is just a jackass. She's telling me all these things that why her life sucks because of them. Like, I get it, and that's your truth. But you know what, young lady? You also have a choice to do something about it. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying any of this is easy. But what does easy have to do with it? Either we're willing to do what it takes to be happy, to be fulfilled, to allow our own creativity and awesomeness to flow so we can continue to better the space that we're in, better the world that we're in, which, by the way, once we switch over to that side, good things get attracted into our lives. We're finally empowered to say, you know what? Damn it. I never realized this, but I am. I'm empowered to do whatever I want. The second we go there, and our mind shifts to a positive energy, and that's when we start putting out, guess what starts coming back our way? All that we thought we had to wait for in order to be happy. We start pulling that in. We're done chasing it. You ever see somebody, I say you ever, of course we have, you know somebody that just seems to flow through life effortlessly, and good things just always come their way. And then we say, wow, they got such good luck. No, it's not good luck. That's self-created, self-manifested awesomeness. They attract that into their lives by what they put out. What you got is a reflection of what you put out. And that's, you know what, that's probably, if you take away one thing from this, one little thing, that's it. Your life is a reflection of everything you put out, as is mine, as is everyone we know. The good, the bad, the ugly. We put it out, we got it back. You want something different, put something else out. Change. Change. Now, we understand that these beliefs shape our world. Let's accept that. It's kind of funny, just as I said that, you have what you put out. See somebody hang up. Click. Hey, don't shoot the messenger, man. and don't listen. I may get a little passionate about this stuff, but don't get too wound up about it, right? These calls are here to grow us. These are good calls, right? So don't get too don't get bent out of shape or anything like that. Just let all the goodness flow, right? So our beliefs, our truths shape our world. They put us in the world we're in. And I use that example. If you feel that everybody out there is holding you down, then in fact they are. That's your truth. That is without exception your reality. Others' truths are different. Here's a little caveat, man. The worst thing you can do is pick a truth such as that just sabotages your mission, that is it's a treason against your soul. You pick a truth like that, and then you get around other people who pick the same truth, and before you long you have this big wallowing pity party, each supporting each other in this miserableness. That's a kiss of death. That one's dangerous and happens all the time. Sometimes we call these people our friends. And then you know what we do? We get together, and because our lives now kind of suck because all this crap energy we suck in, instead of doing anything about it, we just start talking about other people, putting down other people because it makes us feel better somehow. Anybody know anyone like that? Get what I'm saying? Egoic mind is the root of unhappiness. Thoughts? I don't know an egoic. An ego is definitely, if that's what egoic means, an ego is definitely a negative thought vibration. So that ain't good for you if that's what you're asking. Ron says, hang in there. I know you will, but this is good. Sorry, that was me who hung up. I switched my computer from the phone. You don't have to apologize. I'm just goofing, guys. Listen, I've been in the middle of like calls, and I don't mind. Listen, if somebody doesn't get bummed out of some of the stuff I say, it probably means that I'm just not testing the limits at how far we all should go together, right? And I've had people email me after and say, Pat, you know what you said offended me, and I couldn't stand listening to your voice any longer. I'm like, that's fine, but don't bring all your miserableness on me. I get it. Yeah, and I feel bad for you because you know what? Truth is, you shouldn't be that angry right now, but you are, and it has nothing to do with me. That's something that I learned a long time ago. I used to very much take personal offense when somebody would attack me like that. And I learned really quick, it really had nothing to do with me ever. It was always just a reflection of what was going on in their lives. That's something you guys may want to remember, particularly like in our real estate space when we bang on somebody's door, man, or we get a phone call, we get a hate piece of mail. You're a thief, you're a vulture, you're this and that. I have a great comeback for that vulture because somebody called me a vulture one time and it just, boom, came to me, the perfect response. I'll share with you in a second. But you got to remember that when people lash out at you like that, they don't know you, they don't know anything about you, they make immediate assumptions about you, right? That's all a reflection, not on you, but what's going on in their life. Their interpretations of the world are simply a reflection of them, not a mirror reflection of the reality of what's going on. So here's this vulture comeback, right? And we used to get this a lot because we used to deal a lot in defaulted property, right? And Slade just went off on me one time. Such a vulture, people like you, blah, 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 blah. So listen, it took me for a second, and your first response is to get all defensive, fluff up, right? And listen, man, I think you're right. Just totally stopped this chick dead in her tracks. I think you're right. I paused for a second because I was never been called a vulture, but I think you're right. Because the more I think about it, I look what vultures do. Vultures don't kill anything. They don't mean any harm upon anything. They circle around, they look for dead, rotten, maggot-infested carcasses, and they clean it all up. They do the work that nobody else wants to do. They clean up the crap that nobody else wants anything to do with. That's what vultures do. Guess I'm a vulture. And in the short sale world of defaulted properties and people walking away from mortgages they can afford but don't want to do it because their house upside down, etc., etc. That's what we did. We just cleaned up all the crap. Interesting, right? Just perspective. Now, I could have went with her belief on it, right? Believe, oh, I must be a vulture. I don't even know why vulture got a bad name, other than the fact that they're ugly, ugly birds. Oh my genie. OM genie. That's good. Yeah, so just think about that. Yeah, we got off track. So let's go. Let's try to get back on context here. Okay, our beliefs shape our world. There are more than one truths. Now, where this also serves you is in understanding people. People are in a different place at a different time than we are. Therefore, they can have different beliefs and different truths. Right? We have to accept that. So when we have conflicts, it does serve us, instead of acting out on what we believe our truth to be, to maybe try to understand their truth. I mean, read this, go back to this story here. You have this dude, I don't even know who, Sixto Rodriguez was this dude's name. He was an absolute failure in our country, right? And had to go back to, I don't know, sweeping floors or something. Yet a mythological, musical icon over in Africa. So if you took two different people, you say that dude's just a janitor, that dude is mythical. Same person. Take a comment or two here. So my comment box is there, in case you're wondering where I'm looking. How do you find ways to rid of the negative truths that get built into our subconscious? This is good, because these come from a lot of crap that's put in there we didn't even ask for, Brad. The positive and negative truths are in a war inside our mind. What is your suggestion for the positive truth to prosper? Number one, a positive thought, a positive energy, a positive truth will always trump a negative one. It's more powerful. It's got a higher vibration rate. Knowing that, you got to go back and challenge. What you're talking about is the power of our subconscious. Our subconscious is all-knowing. It forgets nothing. And that's kind of a pain in the ass because we don't know all that's in there, yet we do trigger certain things at times. And Brad, the answer to your question is you got to stay conscious to it, and you've got to challenge all beliefs. Listen, if my beliefs are a culmination of our life experiences, as one piece of it, as beliefs that were given to us from authoritative people in our lives, whether it be our families, our parents, our aunts and uncles, teachers, police officers, whomever. If all of these things, basically life experiences, make up our current beliefs, and every day we're experiencing new things, shouldn't we every day be challenging our beliefs as they are, especially if they're so powerful that they shape our world? They create the model that we live in. And no doubt, you and I live in a different model because we've had different experiences, we have different truths, different beliefs. We do come together. There's overlap, right? Heck, you may too be a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I am too. So we overlap there. We get certain truths about the Steelers, like they're the best football team ever in all of the world, ever. Ever. I know that to be true. Now, you might be a Dallas fan, and you may be sorely misled into thinking that Dallas is somehow better. But I know it's not. They're not. It never will be. Never could be. Just ask Roger Staubach. You know what I'm saying? But you see how I'm saying where our truth could overlap? Am I the only one laughing internally to that whole Staubach and forget it? But you get what I'm saying here? So our truth should always be challenged. So your point, Brad, okay? So I'll tell you, the further along I get, my growth daily is not by my new experiences, by challenging my own thought patterns. Software that's plugged in there and left to run in the background that affects decisions we make every single day. That we forget the software is even there. That's our belief system, brother. And we can go back and rewrite that stuff. You say, well, what's your guiding beacon to rewrite it or challenge it? What serves me now? I want to seek out truths that serve me. And when I say serve me in my mission, my cause, my bigger purpose. Right? Now, I used to be very combative on politics, for instance. That doesn't serve me at all. As a matter of fact, I've learned a lot about politics, and that the parties are there for one reason, to cause us to continue to fight, as an example. I know that to be true. And therefore, I also know to be true, it makes no sense, not one iota, to pay attention to it at all. As a matter of fact, to turn it all off. And to ignore others who try to talk to me about it. That truth serves me every day because it prevents me from getting into a negative state over that topic. That's my truth. That's my reality. Starting to get this? So Brad, challenge. Do not allow a simple negative thought or belief to exist. There's more than one truth. Find the truth in that situation that serves you. Let's close a couple of these. Hold on one sec. If I don't close like some of the questions we answered, then they all get lost somehow. So one sec. Hold on. It's funny, awkward pauses, right? Any tips to keep yourself in a positive mindset 24/7, 365? I don't know that you have to be, Nick. I think you're allowed downtime. I think you're allowed contrast. This is, though, here's, I'd be lying to you if I said I was in a positive mindset 24/7, but this is what I know to be true, okay? We are challenged for a reason. We're challenged to seek the truth, to grow us, to expand us. We're challenged to push us beyond what we're comfortable at. When I say challenge, we have setbacks, we have fall downs, we find ourselves in crappy moods. Those are all challenges, right? But the magic is to be able to appreciate it all. Not to be in a elevated, perfect, in the zone, positive mindset all the time, but to appreciate why it exists in your life. Why would a shitty mindset ever exist in your life? Good question. What if I said this, okay? What if I put, instead of just saying what if I'm gonna, and I ran out of big paper, so I gotta do it on a little paper, right? Okay. That, my friend, okay, is series of peaks and valleys. Okay? In life, every day, in different cycles, we have peaks up here at the top, and we have valleys down the bottom. These are the setbacks. These are the knockdowns. These are the stumbles. These are the crappy moods. These are the victories. These are the things that work right. These are being in flow, in the zone. It's on the peaks that we celebrate life. And it's in the valleys that we learn about life. That's why you have to have the two. You can't just have peaks. Your chart can't look like that. It can't. There'd be no learning. There'd be no growing. Remember I said at the beginning, those setbacks, those knockdowns, those stumbles, they're getting us to the truth. And as we get to new truths, we'll get to a new high. We get to celebrate them. And it's decisions that you make while you're in a point of celebration will dictate how long you stay on a peak. And it's decisions down at the bottom that you make that will determine how long you stay down there. And what precedes our decisions? Our truths, our beliefs. Starting to see how these all roll together? Powerful, powerful concept. But this, at the end of the day, what is that? What does the peaks and valleys thing mean? Like, what is, so Pat, that's a cute graph, but what does that really mean? What are you trying to say? What that means, and you've heard this 1,000 times, it's not about the end. It's not about the peak, the celebration. It's about the entire journey. We've got to learn to enjoy the entire journey, and that's the answer to your question. Not about being in a positive mindset the entire time, but enjoying the journey. Appreciate the crap for what it's worth. And in appreciation, it'll quickly pull you out of it. You don't have to wallow in it. Does everybody on this call within ear's range, every single one of us, get into a rut without exception? Yes, without exception. So it's not a question as to whether or not it happens. It's a question of how long you choose to stay there and wallow in your own little self-pity mode. That's a choice too, right? And if it sucks and you don't like it, say, listen, man, I get why I'm here. So I can appreciate that stuff better. And I'm going to figure out real quick what got me here. And I'm going to change some stuff so I don't get here because of that again. And through appreciation, it will pull you out quicker than you got there. And you've always heard that whole thing about gratitude, right? Gratitude. Why do you always got to express your gratitude? Because you know what? The expression of genuine gratitude, being appreciative for what you have, where you have it, right at this moment in time, will pull you out of immediately any bad thought, any negative thought, because that appreciation of gratitude, that show of gratitude, that true thought of authentic gratitude is such a high vibration energy, feeling, emotion, thought, that it will crush any negative vibration thought in your body immediately. They can't coexist together, and the positive one will destroy the negative one. That's just a mind hack. It's a personal self-mastery tool to better where we're at any moment. If you're in a crappy mood and you got to go perform and you got to be in a good, quick, immediate state, boom. Be grateful for where you're at. Now here's, I can't ever say that without giving you part two, because this is the part that really, the two play together. One can't exist very well without the other. The idea is grateful for who we are, grateful for where we are now, and always wanting more. So grateful but not content. Grateful and not settling. Grateful but always want more, because we're meant to be more. More than what? More than you are now. You're meant to be bigger. You're meant to be more. Okay, Pat, well, today I got bigger. Is that big enough? No. Every single day. You have an internal code that says you've got to get bigger. And if you don't, You'll know it. You'll feel crappy about yourself. You'll feel like you let yourself down. It'll show up in different ways. Some people who play small, they choose the way they deal with it. They go find other people who are also miserable, who accept their miserableness. Together they can be miserable and go talk about other people to make themselves feel better. Now I can go off all day on that stuff right there. We're going to cut that just like that. Mr. Steven, what is your bigger purpose and how do you come to find it? How did you come to find it? So, and I know one of the parts of that question, Steven, is like, how do you find your purpose, right? I don't know that I found mine. I do know right now that I have a certain skill set and ability to express it and desire to express making other people feel better. That's in broadest terms. Because I know right now, if other people feel better, they'll make other people feel better. The world becomes a better place. It's contagious, right? If I also give them tools to make themselves better humans, they will share those tools to make other people better humans. So then you say, well, what does that all add up to? My job is to have as big a positive impact as I possibly can in the short time that I'm on this earth. It's funny, this is not by intent, but look what I left up here, okay? Forget about this part for a second, right? This is what you typically see on a tombstone, right? Circa 1926 to 2016. Say this is a younger age you can actually live. What's relative about these two numbers on a tombstone is not when you were born, and it's not even when you died. It's the time you spent here on earth. That's what matters. That's what matters. The dash is what matters. So if you're asking me my purpose, it's to put as much value on a dash as I possibly can. Do you have to know your purpose now? No. You've got to be on a journey to find it. That's all. I don't know that you can ever find your exact purpose. Some people do, I think. Job is to be on a journey to seek it out. Let me go back a couple of these. Mr. Brad's a Ravens fan. Sorry to hear that, Brad, but that's cool. Still love you. Benjamin says, I know I like you, Steeler Nation. Yes, sir. I got an authentic yellow towel here somewhere. Juanita says, if we fall out there is negative, then that's what we speak back. If all we put out there is negative, then that's what we get back. So I keep it positive. Smart. You're 100% correct. What is your bigger purpose? Got that. Diane, great explanation. Way to look at the journey. Thank you. Brad loves it. Miss Rhonda, one of my biggest conflicts besides some negativity is how do I take off my realtor hat and put on the investor hat? I don't know what part you struggle with that. I'll be honest with you, Rhonda. If I was struggling changing states, if you will, okay, I would personally create some sort of physical manifestation for what I'm doing. In other words, I'd have a realtor hat and I'd have an investor hat. And I would define each one of them. And I would put myself into that role. I put on my realtor hat, bam. What does this represent? A fiduciary responsibility to my clients. I'm by the book. This is what I do. I want to make sure that my client has the best net result out of this as possible. Blah, 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 blah. Investor. I solve people problems through liquidating real estate. Different approach. Realtor hat. I deal with people who would like to sell their house but don't have any other driving need, want, problem. Investor hat. I deal with people who have problems because houses don't have problems, only people have problems. When I solve the people problems, I get the house that I want at the price I need. I would go through some role playing and define the different roles. Both are of tremendous value, but you're dealing with two totally different clients. You've got to just create the separation. I get clients call me all the time that are not investor clients. I turn them over to a realtor so they can be served there. That's all. No big deal. They didn't have any people problems that I could solve. They only had people wants and needs. Any people problems. That's what I solve. That makes sense? Cool. Take a couple more questions here, and before I let you guys go, what is a good way to answer the question, how many deals have you done, or questions on experience when I've not done one deal yet? Whatever way you're comfortable with, Brad, okay? And I'm not sure who's asking you that question. Buyers? Okay, I'm just fresh into the business. But so that's why I'm focusing on marketing. And I find the best deals at the best price. And don't be fooled. I'm part of a network of investors that are the most educated in the country. I know my stuff. So you either want to do business or you don't. I would be straight and honest. I don't like... That's just my opinion. My opinion is neither right nor wrong. It's just my opinion. Right? Yeah. Listen, man. In an ideal world, all of us would always be a white belt at something. I mean, we'd always be starting something new, fresh. White belt is just a reference to our jiu-jitsu, right? Yeah. White belt's white belt, brand new. It's all good. All right. If there are any final questions, comments, thoughts, complaints, this would be the time to air them. We're going to wrap up this call. Guys are awesome, man. I appreciate you staying in for that conversation. I know some of the stuff gets a little deeper, a little more profound, but it's how we own all of this. You know what I'm saying? Daniel says, thank you, Packer. Great session. Thank you, Daniel. It's very kind. And Mr. Brad says, thank you as well. They said, I am honored always to be here with you all. Okay, so I appreciate you all. And thank you for staying on for the call. Mr. Benjaminson, thank you for sharing. You're very, very welcome. Miss Diane, thank you so much. You're very welcome as well. And Ron, thank you. Dave, wow, you guys are very polite. You know that? Miss Juanita. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys back here live next week. I was thinking about something I was about to tell you. I'll announce there's some things I'm doing up in the next week, some live things I'm doing live. I'm seeing like live event stuff that if you guys are around, you may want to check out. It's kind of cool. Because this experience is super cool here. It's even cooler when I'm up on stage. Different is probably a better word. Peace. Thank you.